Hey guys, this is Dhiyanesh Ravichandran presenting you this episode of Motorindia's Trans Report. As a part of our video series on COVID-19 impacts on automotive businesses, today we are going to have an exclusive and a comprehensive interaction with Mr. Rama Shankar Pandey, who is the Managing Director of Hela India Lighting Limited and a dynamic personality in the circles of Indian automotive and component industry. We have a slew of questions to ask him, and I'm keen to understand his unique perspectives on the pandemic impacts on automotive businesses and the humanitarian crisis, which involves the mass exodus of laborers, migrant laborers, and other workers from industrial regions of India. Let's welcome him, and please do subscribe to our channel if you like this video. And do stay tuned for our upcoming videos. We are coming up with video every day to bring in different and multitude of perspectives in the automotive field. Hello, sir. Thank you so much for sparing your time with us. It's our pleasure to have you in our show. And it's good to see you after a while.
Yeah, welcome, Ravi. I'm also happy to be with you today. Thank you.
Right. So to start with, I want to start on a personal note. Now, this whole ongoing pandemic has seriously changed our lives to the core, and I guess that's going to stay forever. I mean, the changes. This whole lockdown is teaching us a lot of lessons, and we are also trying to have a lot of thoughts on ourselves. It's a great time for us to introspect on anything and everything that we have been doing before. So what is your personal experience in this regard so far? What are your key takeaways, not necessarily from a business perspective, but from an individualistic perspective? Probably, I guess like you would be the right person to give us that insight.
You know, what happens is this is one crisis. Of course, none of us have been having any experience in something like Corona, something like COVID-19. And that's not only me, you, and anywhere in the world. This is something which is first in the world. And the biggest difference compared to any other crisis of past is this is one crisis, and you can call it mega crisis. So the pandemic of Corona or COVID-19 has brought our personal lives and the professional life almost like one, because it has not impacted only our professional life. You know, in past, we used to have crisis after crisis, but there always had a larger space or larger impact on one of this. So when you have a professional crisis, it is more about your organization, it is more about your companies, your manufacturing space, economy, and then it impacts one of us on a micro level. But then it goes from a micro of a company to macro of a country or a world, and then comes back to you on a personal. Now this is directly hitting both sides. So this is one crisis which has taught us, of course, health is in the center, and probably never ever world has prioritized health like this. So rest everything is secondary. This is understood now. You know, our activity got stopped, the lockdown started, and lockdown continues. You know, in the beginning it looked like okay, we can have a cutoff, which is very like a strict cutoff. And in the first lockdown, we thought okay, second lockdown maybe everything opened up. But as you can see, that it is a messy and a fuzzy situation. Now, what this is doing to us, of course, the biggest thing it is doing to us as an individual and a personal level is a high insecurity, high uncertainty, because we don't know. Nothing is in our control. Of course, we have to be in lockdown. That is only one part. But what is going next? The decisions are not in our hand. And what is affecting me personally is also affecting me for my organization. So my teams, my company, my industry, you know, whether it is ACMA or SIAM or, you know, CII or FICCI, if you look at all the industry houses also, nobody has real control on what is next, including the governments. And since nobody has a real control on what is next, the biggest thing it is doing is everybody is holding hand of each other. That's very strange. That's something which is so great to have. I think if something I will give thank you to Corona is definitely some kind of, you know, humanity has, we have become a little more human now. We have become a little more, you know, you need some kind of insecurity sometime to get out of the complacency. So everybody is out of the complacency. Everybody understands nobody knows the best. So why not we hold our hand each other together and then find a way, find a solution. So my first takeaway will be Corona, of course, is a health crisis, is a crisis which we have no experience, so it is extremely risky, and that's why we need to follow social distancing, we need to clean our hands, we need to take care that our people does not get into red zones. So one and after, a lot of SOPs we have created, every company has created, individually we have got convinced with that. But the biggest thing, Corona has taught us is, and I always say this, as long as the collective wisdom travel faster than the virus, we are all safe.
Right.
Which means we need that collective wisdom to be accepted by all. And you have seen how the migrant labor and migrant workers has been going, around just rushing. Lost trust. For them, the bigger risk is not Corona. Bigger risk probably for them is where they are, and they wanted to go back to their native place. I was just wondering if this wisdom is there for me and many people like you and me and many of us, why they don't get that wisdom. And then the realization is that wisdom is not something like a food packet you can drop from a helicopter. So this crisis, you don't have, if your citizens are not understanding, if your citizens have, and I don't think we have to blame them, they have lost trust. So Corona definitely has exposed a lot of those issues. And I think it will take some time for us, now since we have accepted those crises, one by one, as the time will unfold, the humanity will solve them out. But in summary, Corona has brought us together. Corona is a crisis which is beyond professional, beyond business. It is more personal and professional together. The work life has come together, and Corona has taught us how to work from home.
Right. It is actually quite ironic that deadly virus is teaching us how to be humane, right?
Yeah.
And
you see, I don't know whether you have observed. I meet a lot of people, of course, on Zoom and Microsoft Teams and WebEx. You will see people somehow started smiling little more, the smiles are coming back. The stress of traffic is gone. Of course, there is another stress of economy and all. But somehow I have seen people have gained back their humanity, their smile. This is something which to me is a pleasant surprise.
Right. But I guess the industry is not smiling as we would like to think. Now, the pandemic has seriously disrupted the demand and supply chain of the automotive and component industry. Now, what is your personal assessment on the impacts of this pandemic on the automotive industry? And what is the status right now? Now, we are past 2 months. And what is the recovery rate, and are businesses resumed to their operations, or how are things right now?
The one word which I tell you about the industry is devastating. It has really shaken the industry. So when I said you that people are smiling a little bit more, I was talking to you inside out. Internally, we are getting more immunity and more strong because we have a bigger things to fight. So I was hinting on that. This does not demean the challenge what we have externally. So the outside in, the problem, the crisis, I was telling you from the beginning, never ever we have seen this kind of crisis. So all the business setup, all the economic setup, all the manufacturing setup, everyone has been jolted, including us. It has been really a crisis which is beyond, I cannot explain you in words, in terms of the world had changed completely for us. Since we are in the story now, we cannot afford to cry about it. We don't have time to even cry for it. Every time, every energy we have, we are focusing on how to come out of it. One of my boss said sometime back that when you are in hell, get going and get going faster. Because if you're not moving, the hell is onto you. So in the hope and expectation that we will come out of it by our own actions, and this is the beauty of this crisis, that each one of us, including a normal citizen, is contributing to the solution as well as the problem. Right. And our overall manufacturing ecosystem, when I tell you, we have two kinds of business. As Hela, our experience is into the consumer business, which is more B2C, which we also call whole life vehicle industry or aftermarket industry. And the other one is we serve to OEMs and SOE customer, which is manufacturing. I think both have been completely shaken up. I don't know if I have seen in my lifetime any month with zero revenue. Now, when you have the zero revenue, no company can flex everything in a way. We have a manufacturing setup. We have a fixed cost in our consumer business. And not only me, everyone for that matter. And a company like us and many other company who had little bit, I will say, they took precaution much early. And we have, I think, as a multinational company, we have certain experience also. Because what I told you, that as long as the collective wisdom travel faster than the virus, we are fine, right? Not everybody has access to collective wisdom. We were little lucky that Hella has plants in China, Hella has facilities in Italy, Hella has facility in Germany. So what happened for us is much early, and because we all meet very frequently, we have our meetings and brainstorming. You know, China, even before India could experience the what is lockdown, since we have business in China, we experience that. And when we experience that, we preserve that wisdom. If you remember, we had Auto Expo at the time when China was going through this crisis. And within ACMA, all of us were discussing, you know, how should we respond? Because at that time, every day it unfolded. It was not that we knew it will be like this. So during Auto Expo, one good thing has happened, that before we started the event, the announcement came that the Chinese visa was on hold. Now, otherwise there was huge, bunch of people coming from China in that Auto Expo. But even after that China visa was banned, everybody who were participating in Auto Expo, we were with our mask, and I think little bit business still was usual. But after Auto Expo, and I still remember that day, I was organizing, because I'm chairman for aftermarket committee in ACMA, we had a big expo coming up in Patna, and it was exactly on the day when we were to start. I think that was 14th of March. 14th of March, I was in Patna, and we had the starting, everything was ready, setup was ready. Ravi Shankar Prasad was coming to inaugurate, his itinerary was ready. In the morning, he was coming by flight, and the evening, because everything was so scary by that time, and Nitish Kumar just announced a lockdown kind of situation in Bihar because there were some cases, we decided we will stop all activity. Okay. So that is the day, and today is the day. One by one, we only stopped activity. We did not start much activity those days. Now, what happens when you stop the activity? The biggest thing, economic engine stops. No revenue comes in. But then you have to support the livelihood of the people. You have to continue to pay the salary. You have to continue to do the expenses, whether it is rent expenses or all other fixed expenses. Now, this was the biggest challenge, but thank God, most of the company found a way, and they actually cut the unproductive cost, kept the productive expenses, and workers were taken care. Though, as we just discussed, that migrant labor went, to their native places, they all ran away. But also there, the major reason was the informal economy. The formal jobs were still protected. So unfortunately, in our country, 90% plus jobs are still informal, not formal jobs. But whoever, for example, at Hella, what did we do? I think we realized first that the people are going through high insecurity. And in high insecurity, the mental health is very important. So not only we started work from home and we closed our plant, but we also started talking to each and every person every day. Personally, I was on video conference with all of our employees. I started a lot of activity myself in terms of their personality development, in terms of training. We utilized this time to rather grow up our inside out stuff, like whatever is our immunity system in terms of mental health. But the blue collar also, we were calling them every day twice, and we started a lot of family activity, the dance competition, and you can see the Facebook of Hella. We are already a great place to work company. In 2017 or 18 started that we became a great place, and in 18 we became the top 25 manufacturing place in the country. So when you already have that culture, the first thing came to all of us, including our HR, that how can we protect the mental health and the connectivity? So we remain connected, and I'm sure every company did it. But two things I felt, that is my personal feeling, two things I felt is the weakest point which was exposed in this crisis. One, of course, the biggest thing was the blue collar. The whatever labor law in our country we have, I don't know, it is not actually fulfilling the purpose. And the blue collar workers, they lost trust in us. It is not because of Corona. I'm sure that it is Corona just exposed it. It might be from the background, from the past. We have a huge migrant labor coming from UP, Bihar, MP, and working in all the clusters. And in these clusters, they all, when they come with their family sometime, or even the family is at their native place, they have never felt themselves secure enough. Though government has so much of rules on labor law, but these people did not feel secure. That's why suddenly they thought the risk of corona is a lower risk. Risk of social distancing, not maintaining, is a lower risk than rushing. They were on their, they were going like a pedestrian, thousands of kilometers, and many people died. It's so unfortunate. So one weak link I found was the blue collar. You can call it, I call it skill robbery, because India is still very low on productivity. Dhiyanesh, you can check this. Compared to all the large economy, India is very low on productivity. Though our labor is cheap, but when the productivity is low, we are not competitive. Our logistics cost and our productivity, these two is actually the reason why we never became like China in terms of manufacturing. In IT industry, you don't have problem of logistics, so you are competitive there. But in our case, productivity, and here all the IT guys are highly skilled. We have educational institution. So IT industry solve these two problems, logistics cost as well as the skilling part of it, the productivity of it. But in manufacturing, we have not yet. So I found that as a major link, which I call skill robbery, that our people, our blue collar, never graduated from where they are. Once an operator remains operator. An operator does not become president or CEO of the company in our country. Very rare, very rare. And I saw this happening in Bosch. I worked with Bosch before. In Bosch, one of the apprentices became the president of the company. It admired, and I was really admiring this person. I used to meet him, Ravindranath Rao. We used to call him by love PRJ. That was his department name. And I always thought it is possible because I've seen it. But in our country, it is not. If you go to Germany, you can see how much respect a driver gets, a technicians get, a skilled person get. He comes in Mercedes. A mechanic comes in a Mercedes and fix the car. And he goes, and his kids are highly proud of the mechanic and technician, hand job, diploma job. In our country, it is not. So skill robbery is the biggest problem. This I saw Corona exposing. And second thing is the broken finance and professionalization in SMEs. Our country, if you look at as HELA, we depend on tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, many suppliers and sub-suppliers. And I clearly saw that just like the blue collar people felt insecure, immediately they started feeling insecure. And they had a very small bandwidth of management and professional approach. Of course, we immediately started calling them. So I had a lot of video conference with them. I did a lot of training classes to my suppliers, and we actually put everybody together. The suppliers, the employees, the blue collar, everybody. But as the industry, I clearly see these two weak links. One, of course, is the skill robbery, and second is the SMEs. So if you ask me how bad it is very bad, extremely bad. Depending on how good the company is able to withstand that. Companies in tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 level of sub-supplier, we started paying them, even sometime we asked them what other support you need, because they were insecure, they had management bandwidth problem, professional approach was missing, and they had financial crisis. So at this point of time, of course, slowly the lockdown is opening. And because of that, some hope has come back and some production has started. If you ask me, HELA, we started even within the lockdown also, we got permission, because you remember that government opened up the agro and construction sector, the mining sector, continuous production sector. So since we are also supplying heavily to them, our agro customer started producing, and for them, we opened up our plant. We got permission for some 50 plus people in the plant, very small number. But then we again got another 150 number permission. As the permission kept coming to us, we started, ramping up our production. Today, we have all the SOPs in the plant, social distancing, all the cleaning of hand or sanitization, but it's working. Our suppliers have started working. So if you ask me today, I don't see a supply side problem as of now. The moment the demand will come up, I foresee that there can be a supply side problem. So that's the current status, Mr. Ravichandran.
Okay, right. And many people comment that from the industry that there is going to be a new normal, wherein there is going to be massive changes and restructuring of the way business was carried out, and in terms of even manufacturing as well. So how you reorganize your supply chain, Perhaps like
You
the
know,
supply chain is broken from China, where a lot
yeah,
of components and spares are being.
yeah,
And we also
yeah.
see that many new management practices, like for instance, automotive component suppliers, they have a huge chunk of contract laborers being placed in their like facilities. So what sort of changes, like both manufacturing as well as management practices, you foresee post the pandemic, once we come back to a new normal, perhaps?
So the new normal is actually nothing but it will be now normal. I don't think there's something called new. We have already, in our mind, we have accepted it now. That and it's true actually. COVID-19, even if we have a vaccine for COVID-19, this is not going to guarantee you that COVID-20 will not come or COVID-21 will not come. You never know what kind of challenges humanity will face going forward, which will need us. The essence of humanity is to be together, to stay together, physical, proximity. That has been challenged, and I think that has been challenged forever now. So now whatever is in the design stage in terms of the manufacturing processes, management processes, they will go a fundamental change. Of course, like you said, the supply chain has been broken, and the biggest realization for the world was the dependence on China. So the world has started thinking about de-risking, or I'll say not put all eggs into one basket, and that is where some opportunity also are coming, which you see Japan and Korea, incentivizing their companies. Can you get out of China? Can you go to other country? So I think India, though we don't deserve at this point of time, because I told you we have two problems. One problem for competitiveness was skilling, productivity. Another problem I told you about logistics cost. But if we fix it up, we will be able to grab that opportunity, which means what? The biggest thing in the Make in India, and you can see the government announcement. I announced it much earlier, even before Mr. Modi announced that. I was foreseeing that, what is going to happen. And I think even now some people will not understand that. Something called community manufacturing. Now, this was my word. I wrote an article on 10th of April. What is community manufacturing? Community manufacturing is a manufacturing which will be done at a place by taking that place in confidence and in unity. Today, you have got a mass manufacturing setup where different resources come from different places with a lot of logistics costs, and then you do it there and again go back to logistics. Now, what is going to happen is, just to take an example, earlier you had smaller trucks going from point A to point B, from origin to last destination. Now what is happening? You have got a new segment which is real big heavy commercial vehicle, and they go on, we call it the hub and the spoke model. So they go from one major hub to another major hub, and then it goes to the smaller. So you have a economy of scale in transportation on highway. And then small, I call it small commercial vehicle like Tata Ace and Mahindra Jeeto, and those people then deliver from that hub to small. Earlier, big truck used to go to all those places directly. So there is a consolidation, and then there is a kind of customization in the end, to deliver the consignment. Similarly, in manufacturing, I foresee that there will be large, very large factories coming up, which will be more dependent on automation. Because in the mind of the entrepreneur, this scare will not go that soon, that suddenly factories got stopped. Now, if you have a highly automated factory, and I think all factories are automated, all factories have robots. Now it is not a new phenomena. Industry 4.0 is going to get a speeded, fast acceleration. Industry 4.0 anyway was coming, but due to Corona and the mindset change, in fact, us also at Hela, for example, even in the consumer business, we have tweaked our strategy to go for extreme digitization now, to go for telecalling, to go for digital marketing in a heavy way, to talk to our retailers and everybody like we are talking today. This earlier, this was not acceptable. Now, just example, we two are talking. In physical discussion, I would have been looking into your eyes. Now I'm looking into camera.
Right.
What is this change? This is a fundamental change, that we are accepting to live with machines. It is so impersonal. The camera is not responding to me whether he's looking at me or not. But I am forced to look at the camera so that when you look at me, as if I'm looking into your eyes. So these are fundamental changes. So the biggest fundamental change will happen is factories, large factories producing commodities will become larger and highly automated. Industry 4.0 will come in a big way there. At the same time, there's a silver lining. You see all the migrant laborers going? Some of those smart migrant laborers will collaborate with smart engineers, and then local manufacturing is going to start. So places where there is no factory, you will see a customization, and a large factory will collaborate with the small factory. It's almost like the Dell model, that you have standard hard disk, standard RAM, ROM, all those specifications produced in commodity, and a warehouse or something close to customer will ask customer, what do you need? And then he will customize it there. So some kind of customization, even to the extent of 3D printing or additive manufacturing will happen. For example, repair and maintenance. If let's say Hella has got a part, and Hella can make an open source software for it, a CAD or whatever CATIA software, and it can give it to an engineer in a place called, let's say, Ambattur or Madhubani or Coimbatore, and the engineer there will take a data from me at a cost, whatever that cost is, and he will 3D print and give it to the customer in a garage to fix that particular part. Now, these things in past was only taught in theory. To me, it looks like this is the time post-corona that digitally these things will look at, because people will be available and mindset will be ready. So to me, this broken supply chain, of course, we will fix it up now, because automotive industry is, always has gone through hardship, and we have come up. So we will come up. In short term, we will manage this, but in mid-long term, it's going to have a complete shift in terms of how we are manufacturing. What is our shop floor arrangement? Even now, we have a social distancing at shop floor, right? So our one-piece flow, our Kaizen activities, our POCA activities never had this as a constraint in past. Now there's a new constraint. Our assembly lines will be built based on that, right? This is, I'm talking about hardware change in terms of Industry 4.0, software change in terms of community manufacturing, 3D printing. So digital will happen both for a small factory, just like Germany. Germany has got factory in villages. Why India cannot have? And now government has come up with vocal for local. This is amazing. I was just waiting for this, Vocal for local means in Bihar, if somebody is telling, guys, I have a factory in Patna, can you use my product? People may listen to it. People will say, okay, this is made in India. People will listen to it. In past, it used to be called like you are discriminating. You are creating barrier to trade and industry. But I don't think now it will be called that way. Everyone has to protect the local economy as well. And that concept was missing in our economic theory of capitalist market, where you have a center for production, you have a center for consumption, and everybody will consume the same thing. I think the world will become more diversified. Consumer needs are going to change dramatically, and consumers will want diversified product now. And diversification will be ensured at the place of consumption, not always at the place of production. So fundamentally, manufacturing will change. But the biggest change I foresee, maybe I'll tell you in the end of this question what you asked, is the business model change. People will take risk, but they will diversify the risk. Risk needs to have diversified. So something called modular customization will come. Consumer will need more models, more variety, but risk-taking ability will come down, and that is why big, large manufacturing companies will try to force consumer to consume only limited variety, but it's not going to work. So what will happen? For example, I'll tell you. Suppose you have got 10 variety of cars to produce. Now, for every car you tool up, you have an investment, and this investment is very high. In past, you had a surety of number of cars to be sold for 5 years, 6 years, sometimes 10 years. In current scenario, it may happen that your total production will just collapse in 2 years, 3 years. You don't know, you cannot forecast. So when you don't forecast, you'll club models. You will invest less in tooling, and it is already announced. Many people have started investing less in R&D. I heard about one of the automobile companies announcing that. No, what is the meaning of that? The meaning of that is you have less variety. So when you have less variety, and consumer will have the appetite, because consumers are becoming digital, so middleman will come. That is what I'm talking about. community manufacturing or community customization. So there'll be another service coming up. Let's say talk about aftermarket, accessorization of a car. So people will be happy to buy a small car rather than a big car, because people will be either safe at home or they'll be safe in their personal transport. So the two-wheeler and car sale will increase, but on an entry level. Now, an entry level car, but they still want differentiation. They still want in society, they should be known that they have a good car, whatever. So what they will do, they will accessorize the car. And lot of accessory manufacturer will come, lot of accessory provider will come, technician will come, mechanic will come, and your car will become reflection of your personality. You want to be happy in your car. So this kind of business model will come, which will be more like a modular customization, which is more like safeguarding the investment. Even company like us, we have been promoting modular customization since many, many years. That's the reason of our success. Now it will accelerate. You know, one OE investing on one lamp, and what I can do, I can invest for 10 OE. And I will tell to every OE, you don't have to invest, you just invest little for customization. So the inside heart will be same, outside will be different. Example is bus segment. You can see in bus and coach segment, that kind of projector lamps. You know, every bus will have a different look. The eye will look different. The design is different. But the modules, projector modules is same. You go and look at from a close point of view, whether it is Volvo, Scania, Ashok Leyland, Tata Motors, all the luxury coach, and Hella is actually a leader in that. And we started this business model long back, where we said to OEM, don't invest heavily into these modules. We will invest for you. Why? Because we club investment for many OEMs. Now for you, we can design a bezel, whatever way you want, a DRL, a signature light, so that you look different, but you don't have to invest that much. So the business model innovation will come, how we protect our risk, our investment, and with less investment, more variety can come. That kind of models will be generated in the management philosophy.
Okay, right. I just want to move on to this 20 lakh crore stimulus package unveiled by the union government. Where does the automotive component industry actually fit in that package? What are your thoughts on that?
See, we only got the installment, right? We have not got the full installment yet. So we have to understand this, that when they will announce it for, I will say, other than SME, the current announcement for SME is most welcome. What they have done, because SMEs have liquidity problem, they need to get support by government at the right time. I think for SMEs they have announced, but I think we have to clearly accept this fact that I'm also still waiting that the government will do something for companies like us. For the tier 1, for the automotive, the large part of the industry is still untouched by the stimulus. We were looking at something on the worker side, because I am really afraid that the demand side remains low. After another month or so, there will be a layoff. There will be a lot of job losses. Now, when these job losses will hit, ultimately the consumer sentiment will come down. So in a vicious cycle, I rather see a problem if the stimulus is not announced directly to put some money in the hand of the people who are, getting job losses. In some countries, in fact, many countries, since we are a multinational companies, we have the experience of what is happening in the world, and I'm participating in many meetings. Government is directly supporting employees, directly giving, their part of salary, directly making, giving them in their bank account. Now, this was the time to have those kind of bold support. I don't see that yet, but I'm expecting that to happen. At the same time, what government announced for the SMEs, I am very appreciative of that, because ultimately SMEs is part of that broken supply chain. And I told you in the beginning that I'm really worried for two weak links. One is the skill robbery, and second is the broken SMEs finances or SMEs professionalization. Now with the SME announcement, I'm sure that this will support SMEs, but my problem is many SMEs even don't know how to get the access of it. So this is also responsibility on people like us and the leadership team at ACMA, leadership team in many companies, that our supplier ecosystem, this is what I'm also doing. I'm calling them, educating them on this, and getting the stimulus, what they can complement with their competency and expertise with this stimulus and grow forward. Otherwise, even if 1 or 2 or 3 of them dies, and that part is not coming to my factory, I will not be able to satisfy my OEM. So they are all important part of the supply chain or the link. So the stimulus package for SME is good, announced, welcome, but we have to make it on a ground level by educating the entrepreneur and the managers of our SMEs. At the same time, I have one problem there, and I want to, since I can use your platform, our business to consumer, what we do as a repair service, every truck, every car, when this is running on road, it needs maintenance. This is essential services. In America, in USA, it is already qualified as essential services. In our country, it is not seen that way. So these repair shops, workshops, dealer, distributors, they are outside the SME definition. And this is not good. This is not fair. They are part of the economy and they need to be encouraged. In our country, entrepreneurs and all the entrepreneurs must be recognized. Even sometimes, society also is not giving that due respect to a businessman in our country. Because businessman is actually making money. Banks are not making money. Governments are not making money. The entrepreneur who is taking the risk finally, he is building money, building wealth for the country and all the stakeholders. We must respect them. So when we have too much of these classification problem, they are disheartened. And I meet a lot of them, hundreds of them. I do a lot of workshop, and not only in ACMA, but also as Hela, as a company. I call them, I talk to them. And really in last 50, 60, 70 days, I have found that there's nobody to give them money. And their cycle has been broken completely. So SMEs in manufacturing, but also SMEs, those who are doing services and repair and maintenance services are essential services. My appeal will be that how can we support them also? And this will be included. FADA also said their dealers are not included. Why not? Why not? They are giving jobs to people. This is the time when the biggest thing we have to do is protect the job. So my request will be the stimulus package, whatever has come, is still not what fully we need. For SMEs, manufacturing is fine. We need our repair maintenance to be included in that space, and we need something for our own employees, for our whole industry ecosystem, tier 1 ecosystem, auto manufacturing ecosystem. Hardly anything has been announced yet.
Now, before going to your concluding remarks, I would like to ask two specific questions to you. Now, considering that you are a passionate person in the automotive component industry who takes care of or takes innovative initiatives on road safety promotion and people welfare, mass welfare perhaps. Now, whatever the success that we had before in terms of promoting road safety, in terms of promoting proper labor management and everything, do you think that those kind of successes are also now under question out of this pandemic impacts? Now, because we see that a lot of states are rewriting their labor laws and road safety is now put under tremendous pressure. We see a lot of migrants who are walking on the highways are being, quite vulnerable. So what are your thoughts on that? I guess you will definitely have a very different perspective on that regard as well.
No, but I guess I must thank you that you have raised this question, because we have to understand Corona. I don't know how many people have been killed worldwide as of today. The country is only increasing. But look at the number of people who died out of Corona. And look at the number of people dying out of road crashes. I'm not talking about a specific time zone when lockdown happened, because when lockdown happened, total number of fatality come down. It is another matter that the risk of fatality increased because people were speeding on road. Right. But overall, the lockdown gave us less number. But if you take out that lockdown period and business as usual, every day 3,700 families, 3,700 every day in the world somewhere does not get back their people home. It is a bigger pandemic than, it is a declared pandemic. It's a declared WHO pandemic, bigger than Corona, right? Now, if you look at how we are going to sort it out going forward post our lockdown and post Corona, one thing I must tell you, which is really encouraging for all of us, what Corona has exposed. Corona has taught us something called you are, therefore I am, which means what? We are safe as long as every citizen is safe. This was not a mindset before, right? There's a very new mindset that if in my house somebody has Corona, I'm also vulnerable. I must take care of that person. So taking care of community was never ever at this level. Even in Swachhta Abhiyan, It was always from me. But you are, therefore I am, which means only because you are safe, I am safe. Now the same concept applies on our roads. Till the last road user is behaving well and safe, I am safe. Even if I am fine, but I can be hit by anybody. So the realization of a community activity and action in Corona, I think we are going to leverage that going forward. We are starting our campaign very soon again on a large level, and something which we are picking up, and I can reveal a little bit of it to you. We are still working on the campaign. The campaign is more about smiling on the road. Means what? That you are cool on the road. Means what? That in lockdown we have seen that when everything was stopped, there were certain good things of nature coming back. We were smiling more. The greeneries were coming up. The cleanness was seen. People were calling each other. Families were united and societies were united. In your locality, you were taking care of each other. So if a lockdown, which is full stop, has given you such benefit, can we slow down a little bit? So the appeal is going to be slow down. When we slow down, we smile on road, we stop on zebra crossing, and we smile on each other. This is how we should connect. A pedestrian who is going on a zebra crossing, even when it is green, I think the time has come to give some benefit of doubt to each other now. We have given this benefit of doubt in Corona. Corona, we did not tell somebody, why did you go to US? When he came from US, we took care, we gave him a quarantine facility, we let him get the food and all those facilities. Why did we do that? For our safety. I saw a very interesting picture on the border of a country when army is going, and let's say there's a donkey there. You know what they do? They put the donkey on their soldier. Why? Because if the donkey puts their leg on a mine, on a bomb, everybody will be blown. Because you have a lot of bombs mine on the border, and even an animal does it, it will kill everybody. So what do? You also protect the animal. Not protecting him, but for yourself you are protecting. And this will be applicable for road safety. That as long as we respect the road, and we respect other road users, and we safeguard others, we'll be safeguard ourselves automatically. So coming forward, I will also appeal to you, and you are already doing great at Motorindia. I guess a lot of road safety activities you have participated. You saw in Auto Expo how we tried leaders to join this campaign. The campaign is in our ecosystem, our employees, our supplier, our customer. Now, since we have seen how good the life is, by a little bit of slowdown, let's slow down on road. Let's give benefit of doubt. If somebody is coming late in the office just because he safeguarded somebody on road, give him benefit of doubt. Support him. Make your working time little flexible so that there's no stress on the road. Since we have said bye-bye to those kind of stress, why not we welcome this way of working and living? And then we will see that the pathetic situation of our country. Every day, millions of us in India use road, and 415 families never get back their people home. Almost 1,300 of us go full fine to the office or wherever we go. But when we come back, we are injured. There is no death in our country which is bigger than this for the unnatural region. No war has killed so many Indians. Jallianwala Bagh, whatever you say. All people died since history in all wars are lower than how many people have been killed on road death in just 10 years. So my request will be that as we come up together, SIAM, ACMA, FICCI, CII, many organizations, you have ASDC, we are focusing on the skill-based training for drivers. We are focusing on behavioral change because our slogan is, "Jab hum badlenge to desh badlega." We have seen in Corona, na? Right. When each one of us will transform, the traffic will be transformed. So when you will see the road safety as a topic, I have the hope. Of course, we are not going to stop till we are making India free from all the avoidable road deaths. So if you ask me, it's a personal passion. If you ask many of the similar kind of people like me, they will not leave it. So we will continue to work in this area till we have India free from all avoidable road deaths. But I'm also sure that since people are now more aware of the community feeling, and the community leadership have suddenly come up during Corona, it will sustain in campaigns like road deaths, in the campaigns like also skilling. I also see that the skilling will come back because skilling is like a welfare of people. Poorest of the poor people are those, not by money, Those people are really poor who never got any chance to sign, any chance to contribute, any chance to perform. So jobs are not only for money, jobs are also for your mental health. Jobs are a way to express yourself. And that is where the humanity will live together as a community. So the job and skill will be in big focus, complete focus. Recently, I saw there is a big Twitter trending in Bihar called Industry in Bihar. I was surprised. Never I saw that. Every political party was talking about it. So when jobs and skill will become priority for political class, when road safety will become priority for political class, we are in the right direction.
Right. And just a corollary question to what you were saying. Now, we saw the fallout of this mass exodus of migrant laborers from the industrial regions and towards, people are walking thousands of kilometers, millions and millions of people. Now, what is the footprint of automotive and component industry in this whole humanitarian crisis? Just because this kind of discussion is nowhere found in the media, and I also want to ask you, like, are the industries are also equally responsible for this fallout, just as we blame the government for this whole issue?
I don't think we need to blame anybody, Dhiyanesh. We don't need to blame anybody. That's the status. The first thing is that we cannot hide it. Of course, media is not interested in those because media gives you what you consume. Media needs TRP. Media needs, sensationalization of things and a lot of those negative. So media will show you when you have lakhs of them on a railway station. On some media will not show you somebody walking 1,000 kilometers and every kilometer is recording. You will not hear those, but you cannot hide it. It's a truth. It's a reality. So first thing I will request, myself also I've said, and all our leaders, that we have to accept it that this is a truth. That India has failed to build a trust in our own people who work for us, who work for the building of the country. Imagine if these people stop working and we are facing some problem. Many companies and many leaders have shared with me and also in media that they're facing problem. People are not coming back. At ITWA, All India Transport Welfare Association, they're not getting drivers back because they went to their home. You know what happened? They felt more secure even with no job, no money at their native place because they lost trust. It is true. In a city like Delhi, Bombay, Chennai, wherever, people are not, they are not able to welcome them and embrace them. These are all, there is a fault line for these people and they have lost trust in us. Now, this is very sad, very bad. Our own citizens have lost trust in us. Why? One of the reasons is that we should stop immediately calling them migrant. This is my sincere request to all of you. If that worker is a migrant, I am also migrant. Just because I am having more stake in the city accepts me. Just because I am more dependent on the city, I will not leave the city. But these guys have less stake, they are less respected, so they leave. So somewhere we have to first say that no, they are not migrant. It's our country. Anybody can work anywhere in India. I live in Delhi and I go to work in Gurgaon. Will the Haryana people tell me I'm a migrant? I think this is demeaning ourselves. We have to start calling people by their trade, by their skill, by their qualification, rather than calling them and segmenting them with those degree designation, Bihari, Kerala, Bengali. No, we have too many fault lines already, Dhiyanesh. We have to increase another fault line. We have to say people who are skilled, they are getting disrespect in this country. And that is why you don't get new people to join. Who wants to be a driver? No good person will marry his daughter to a driver. No good person will marry his daughter to a mechanic. Why? And if you don't respect your plumber, your bathroom will be leaking all the day. This is happening in our country, that our productivity is leaking. Because skilled people, if I'm a managing director and CEO, I'll get a respect if they see my visiting card. Why don't we have the same respect for all the skilled people? We think we can buy them with money. I don't think so. The biggest crisis happened, I think if you really record that, it's humanity's biggest crisis. I've seen from my own eyes. Unfortunately, I was at my in-laws' place and I had to get a pass to come back to my home. And this was the time when these migrants were moving on Yamuna Expressway. I saw lakhs of people. I will never forget in my lifetime. So personally, it is my personal topic that I will do whatever needed and possible for this. For example, in Bombay, I found people are living in some small area, in one room, 10, 20 of them. When they were going to work, they were fine. But the moment now they're not going to work, they have to live in a small area. They become mentally sick. And that's why it's like, chuhe ki bill se nikalna. They are just getting away from there. They can't live there because at least in past they were 10 hours in factory. They were fine. But now they have to live in a small area. So we have to look into today a salary of a blue collar and salary of a CEO. It is so huge gap. In other country, it is not that bad. And job is respected. A driver earns. मैं बोलूँगा भाई driver को 50,000 की salary क्यों नहीं देते? So people will blame me. Pandey, you are increasing the cost of the product. I say no. I think somewhere we have to look at productivity and we have to look at there's a minimum need for them. And then the only way the crisis should end is that way. We have to rebuild the trust. We have to get them back. And I'm requesting all leaders, forget calling them migrant. Call them skilled worker. Call them with their names. Call them with their trade. That what trade? They're a plumber, they're a fitter, they're a welder, they're an assembly line operator, whatever they are. Give them some designation. Otherwise, in our country, where everybody is obsessed with degree, MBA, IIM, IIT, or designation, MD, CEO, general manager, I think we have to get out of these and we have to respect people by their qualification. Qualification means skill. Mr. Pandey should be known less just as a CEO. He should be known as what he does good. If I'm able to articulate something good, I should be called as a good articulator or a good orator. I should not be called as CEO or MD for everything and anything. I think that mindset change has to come. I know it is difficult, but we will work together. That this should change in our country.
Right, sir. So on a concluding remark, I know that we have run out of time. On a concluding remark, like what is the road ahead for the auto component industry, and what are the key takeaways and recommendations you would tell to your fellow businessmen who, just like you, who may not have a bigger brand or something, but a smaller, say for your tier 3 or tier 4 supplier? What are your key recommendations for them to come out of this crisis?
I think the first big recommendation is to my own colleagues in Tier 1 that the time has come, the 2 weak link, if we don't fix it up, even our future is in dark. One is the skill robbery, which is happening in our country. We have to find a way to sort it out. I don't think we can afford to complain. All of us complain, ye nahi hota hai, wo nahi hota hai, log nahi karte hain. Whatever we can do, I think let's come there. Let's start solving this problem, skill robbery problem. And second is the broken chain, finance and professionalization in SMEs. So SMEs professionalization. We have to motivate them. We have to, make them world class. How can our tier 2, tier 3 become world class? They can become. In Germany, it happens. I've seen from my own eyes. Why can't it happen in India? So, for example, one of my tier 2, we have done, not only grooming of that tier 2, but we have got him a joint venture with a German company. And I'm so happy to see his growth. So like this, can we actually take up tier 2, tier 3 and introduce them to the larger platform, skill them properly, professionalize them? This is my appeal to all our fellow leaders, that this 2 problem has to be sorted out, the broken link of SMEs in terms of finance and professionalization, and the skill robbery for all our hand job. We call them blue collar worker.
Right.
For the tier 2, tier 3, my request will be, please invest into soft power. Soft power is all the training of your employees and the management people. At the same time, the digitization in your company or a factory. I tell you from guarantee that Industry 4.0 is not only for large organizations. This is the problem all of us see, that the digitization is only for big companies. Good management practices only for big companies. No, you can do it in 10-person company also. Huge digitization is possible. Industry 4.0 is possible in tier 2, tier 3, tier 4. So my request will be, please talk to your OEMs, talk to your tier 1s, talk to your friends, families, network, but please embrace digitization and the technology change. Because the going forward, the 2 formula which I have learned from some people, technology will be key to success and collaboration will be key to success. And if we are not embracing technology and collaboration, I think we are going to die very fast. Right. Thank you so much, Dhiyanesh.
Thank you, sir. I think my key takeaway from interacting with you is that we have a serious challenge for our status quo, and I think we should take that opportunity for best. Right, and also
Yes,
we should show
yes.
that we are human enough to take everything. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for sparing your time. I know that we have exceeded time, but thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. And we are also coming up with different videos every day so as to bring in different perspectives. So stay tuned with us, and we are also in our toes with you. So whenever there is a new update from your side, please do update us, and we are here for you as well. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Dhiyanesh. You guys are doing a great job, huh? Because you're also connecting us with your communication. Keep
Right.
it up. I do watch your videos.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thanks. Our pleasure.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye, sir.
Bye bye, everybody.